And Veena Sikri, former Indian High Commissioner to Bangladesh, joins us on the show now. Welcome, Veena ji, to the program. Namaskar. Former Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has sharply criticized the Mohammad Yunus-led interim government for straining bilateral ties with New Delhi. Would you describe this as an example of plain speak or not?
Yes, I think in her interviews, she's given two over the last 2 days, and she's been very frank and honest, and she has actually demanded inclusive elections. She said that unless the elections are inclusive and participatory, there will never be, stability and prosperity in Bangladesh. And she has spoken out strongly on the way in which Mohammad Yunus has allowed the minorities to be attacked, the Hindus, the Buddhists, the Christians, the Sufis and the Ahmadiyyas. And, how he has not only allowed them to be attacked, but he's in complete denial. Anybody asks Mohammad Yunus what is happening, he says, oh, that is fake news from India, he says, So he is not in complete denial. It's only the last incident with the absolutely barbaric killing of Dipu Chandra Das, where he was, the factory handed him over to the mob, and then he was beaten to death and then hung on a stake, his dead bodies hung on a mast and burnt. I mean, I cannot believe in the 21st century such things are happening, are being allowed to happen. And even then, all that moment said, oh, we have arrested 7 people. We know that there will be no trial against them. They'll be released on bail. Throughout the last 18 months, this has been continuing absolutely unabated. And the effort by the Jamaat-e-Islami, which is the real power right now in Bangladesh, the effort is to push out the minorities and to have a caliphate, to have a Wahhabi Islamist government in Bangladesh, and to have a caliphate which will bring in Sharia law. And actually, Sheikh Hasina is absolutely right in the lawlessness that she's talking about, because the law and order situation has completely collapsed. We know that in July, August last year, the so-called students, we know it was not a student uprising, it was not spontaneous, there was no revolution at all, it was just a regime change operation, Pakistan acting through Jamaat-e-Islami backed by the Western powers. And in that, they have, tried to bring in this Wahhabi Islam, but they killed many policemen. And they have openly spoken about it. They said if we did not kill the policemen, we could not have succeeded. And because of them having killed so many policemen, burnt so many police stations, taken over the weapons, seized the weapons from the police stations, that now the law and order situation in Bangladesh is very difficult to control. And actually, there really needs to be a very strong, Yunus's caretaker chief cannot conduct the election. He has no authority to conduct these elections, because even the interim government that he has been leading for all these months is an unconstitutional government. It has no provision in the constitution for it. And in any case, even if you want to consider it a caretaker government, then there has to be, only 90 days, a non-party government, and to hold free and fair and participatory elections. But he's been there well beyond 90 days. He has allowed Islamist parties to join his government as advisors. Now they are busy resigning because they want to take part in the election, but they've been there all these 18 months. And they have absolutely been no attempt to have free and fair elections, because unless an election is participatory and inclusive, it cannot be considered free and fair. So this is, I think, a very, very important point. And Sheikh Hasina has quite correctly highlighted all these issues. She has, praised the relations with India, because, and India on the first day in our message to, in Prime Minister Modi's message to Dr. Mohammad Yunus, he spoke about this, that India felicitates you, we want to continue the cooperation, and we request you to look after the minorities. None of this has happened, because he's not been looking after the minorities at all. Mohammad Yunus has let them go absolutely as fodder to the extremists, and he has not continued the economic cooperation at all. He has turned back every decision. He's shown no interest. He's talking about Northeast. He goes to China and talks about Northeast getting access through Bangladesh. Quite forgetting about the realities of geography and territorial sovereignty of India. So I think that...
So Sheikh Hasina also alleged, ma'am, that the Mohammad Yunus-led government is allowing extremists to dictate foreign policy. How far would you say this is true, and what could be the potential consequences for Bangladesh itself and for India-Bangladesh relations?
Absolutely, because as I said, Pakistan has been acting through the Jamaat-e-Islami. The Jamaat-e-Islami, as a radical conservative party, is trying to bring together all the other Islamist groups in Bangladesh. The Islami Andolan Bangladesh, the Hizb ut-Tahrir, and also the organization Hifazat-e-Islam. And they are trying to bring them together and get voted in as a Islamist government who wants to bring in Sharia law, and this is not acceptable to the people of Bangladesh. And Mohammed Yunus has allowed these organizations. Imagine, for example, to give you one example, this the NCP, this Inqilab Mancho leader Osman Hadi, who was shot at and then died after that. He's a person who has a group. He's not been known to the people of Bangladesh except for the last 18 months. And now, Mohammed Yunus is saying reams of praise about him, shedding tears over him. They've named a conference center in his name, all in order to encourage the radical Islamist groups and to tell them that this is what you should keep on doing, so we will honor you. This is actually what the Jamaat-e-Islami wants, and they're acting through Mohammed Yunus. He's just the mouthpiece. He's doing what they want him to do. And it's shocking to see that a person like Usman Hadi, he spouts the most anti-India rhetoric. So actually, Mohammed Yunus is trying to normalize this anti-India rhetoric. He's saying this is the way it will be, this is what's going to happen. So actually, we have to really take cognizance of this, and I think Government of India has put in very strong messages, démarche and note verbal, saying the elections must be free, fair, inclusive and participatory. That is the only answer, that they must be free, fair, inclusive and participatory. The Awami League, Jatiya Party, all the others must be able to take part. And once it is free, fair and participatory, anybody can get elected. And whoever is elected will be representing the people of Bangladesh, and surely it will be then a stable, prosperous and democratic Bangladesh. The people of Bangladesh want it. There have been opinion surveys published in the Prasar Bharati, which said that 70% of the people of Bangladesh want the Awami League to take part in the election. It doesn't mean that they will vote for Awami League, but they want Awami League to take part so that, in fact, it is a genuinely democratic election, and after that, the process of governance can start.
Yes, finally, at this point, do you envisage Bangladesh seeing the light and the interim government course correcting? Also, what do you see happening to Bangladesh's polity in the days ahead?
It is a very tense period, and certainly the Western powers have made up their mind, it's impossible to change, etc., etc. But this is an illegitimate government. It's not a constitutional government. It has no right to exist. So actually, the will of the people says that they want free, fair and participatory elections. The national opinion surveys show it. The fact that the people who are now campaigning for the February elections are not being accepted by the people of Bangladesh. There's violence. One person, Usman Hadi, died. After that, another leader of the NCP was found hanging in the Dhaka hostel. A third person has been shot at today in Khulna. So this is not an ordinary situation, and any normal, natural, legitimate government would take cognizance of it. But this Mohammed Yunus government not being legitimate at all, they're just doing what they want, what the Jamaat-e-Islami wants them to do, and they're going ahead regardless. I think it's very dangerous what the Government of India has been saying, that they must have participatory elections. That is the right way, and I do hope that the Government of India would be thinking of many more measures to make sure that the elections are free, fair and participatory and inclusive.
Not much time left, for the interim government to course correct, because obviously elections are just 2 months away, less than 2 months away now. Thank you very much, Avina Sikriji, for joining us on DD India News Hour.